Hey everybody, Justin here, aka Godzilla Hawk, and this is your late WrestleMania Night One review. I know I promised last night, but I was tired, I was exhausted, but I figured give you guys your review right now. Better late than ever. We got Night Two coming up on tonight. So again, I will do this review, give you my score, and then do night two. And then after night one, night two are done, I'm going to combine them for WrestleMania 30 as a whole, and then I'll give you my overall thoughts about the entire Mania during two review, which I'll probably try to do. I'll try to see if I could do on Monday. I'll try to see if I could do it tomorrow because I got work tomorrow. I'm not going to really have time to do it by the time I get home. I'm going to be exhausted. So I'm just letting you know about that right now. And again, I told people about this last time, so I'm not going to repeat it. I did not watch the Mysterio match. I boycotted it because I did not want to support anything Logan Paul did. And it's kind of ironic, and I have to call them out on this. I call people out like Alex, and Saw Monster and everybody who wanted to watch this match, and even Brandon did. He watched it. He said, "Oh, Logan Paul did pretty good," but yet they felt disgusted that he was doing all this stuff. And I'm sitting here going, "Well, if you hate the guy so much, why the fuck are you watching this match? You guys are all Nimrods. If you guys really hated this guy so much, you wouldn't watch." That's what I did. I just said, "I'm not supporting this. I'm not going to watch it." The only thing I saw were like little GIFs and some brief highlights on social media after the match. That was it. I didn't watch the match. I didn't care. Nothing against Mysterio or The Miz, but I refuse to talk about or give any support to this guy, no matter how good or bad he was in the ring, because I felt like I'd be a hypocrite to go out there and let's say he put on a good performance, which I've heard, and go out there and just say, "Oh, that was great," and then I'm because this is the same guy that filmed The Dead Body and got paid for it. And now I'm showing support for him. I can't do that. That's hypocritical and that's disgusting taste. If you watch the match and you're still bitching about it, that's on you. You're the fucking retard. I decided not to watch the match because I refuse to support bad people. So I didn't watch the match. So because I didn't watch the match, I can't grade the match. So therefore, the highest this entire WrestleMania as a whole can go up is to a 9 out, because I did not watch the Logan Paul match, nor will I ever. Probably, I don't know if I will watch, because I just can't support this guy. I can't. That match was tainted the second they brought him up. I can't watch it. If you thought he did good and you have no problem with that, fine. That's on you. But if you're one of these guys that's watched the match and you still hate the guy and you still can't get over your head and you feel disgusted, that's on you. You chose to watch the match. You could have boycotted it. You could have just done something else, but you watched it and now you're paying a price for it because you're actually giving the guy credit because supposedly he did pretty well. I just chose, fuck that. I'm not going to watch it. Because I knew if I watched it and I give it any ounce of credit, I'd be a hypocrite. So I did not watch that match. I'm not going to talk about the match. I'm moving forward. So I'm going to talk about everything else, and we're going to go from there. I got to get going anyway, too. So we're going to do this quick. So we're going to open up with Nakamura and Rick Boogs versus the Usos SmackDown Tag Team title match. Look. The match, unfortunately, I have the judgment match as it was, and it wasn't that good. But I'm not going to be that hard on it because, unfortunately, Rick Boogs did suffer a leg injury. He tried to look like he was going to do like a squat with the Usos, both Usos up, and maybe do like a swanton bomb or something powerful, and his leg gave out. It's unfortunate. But I have to judge the match as itself. And unfortunately, it wasn't that good. But unfortunately, because of that, I'm not going to critique this match as much because it was off by an accident. We have no idea if the match would have been better or worse. without the injury. Was it going to be a different result where Nakamura and Boog's going to win the match, where the Usos still going to retain, but off of a different finish? No idea. But overall, I still have to grade the match for what it was. It wasn't that good, but unfortunately, it was out because of an injury. Boogs can heal up and he gets well soon. Unfortunately, he's going to need surgery, I should say. So he might be gone for a while. So that is very unfortunate for his first Mania. Just not a good start for the show. But again, that's what happens when injuries happen. It screws everything up, unfortunately. Then we get Happy Corbin versus Drew McIntyre. I've said before, if the Mysterio match was the one match I didn't want to watch, this was the next one. This was a match I'm not looking forward to because of Happy Corbin. I just hate the gimmick. Corbin as an athlete, but I just can't stand the gimmick. The match itself, which is your basic match you'll find on SmackDown, the ending was cool, I guess, was memorable because, Corbin hit the end of days and Drew McIntyre is the first person to kick out. And Drew McIntyre ended up hitting the Claymore and being Happy Corbin. That was it. No more than a 10-minute match. Basic SmackDown match. The last minute was kind of cool, but out of that, nothing really that. Just a basic television match that wasn't really WrestleMania worthy. Then, like I said, the Mysterio's match was next. I did not watch it. All right, talk to you my thoughts. I'm going to move on from there. I want to talk about the matches I actually watched. I actually was able to talk to what is it? Next versus Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship. Up to this point, this was a tail-than-falling match. But this was great. I thought the crowd was hot for this. They told a great story. They worked really well with each other. This is easily their best match they've ever had together. I think it was their Extreme Rules match. I thought was good, but it ended off in Q. So this was a straight-up match. We had a clear victor. One thing I did notice, Bianca won the match. You could see there was one of her eyes was swollen. And I know what spot it was. Becky Lynch and the Molly go round. Basically, a diving, flipping senton on Bianca. But I guess she did get her on the senton part, but she basically did like a rotating kung fu kick and got Bianca right in the face. Like, she connected. But, shit happens. So this is wrestling. This ain't ballet. So Bianca's fine, but she did get a nasty black eye after match. You could tell shut. It was swollen. Becky got her really good by accident. But Bianca hits the KOD, and like I said, it was a great match. Easily the match on the show, I'll tell you that. But again, just great. Bianca gets her moment. She's now 3-0, I believe, at WrestleMania, and she's back-to-back winners in terms of title matches of winning championships. She beat Sasha last year. She beat Charlotte this year, or Becky this year. Sorry. Well, Bianca, probably the next opponent she should probably be is probably Charlotte if they're going to continue to push her. You know what? Bianca's never been one of my favorites, I'll admit, but you know what? She's improved. Has a lot of charisma, and like I said, you can't just rely on the Four Horsemen forever. Eventually, the Four Horsewomen are going to eventually become part-time. They're going to want to break, or they're going to want to retire or do something else. So you got to build new talent up. And Bianca is one of those young ladies that I think can help carry the company along with people like Rhea Ripley. So I'm not mad that they're giving this moment to Bianca. So, I mean, they're Bianca like a star, so I'll give them credit. They're doing right with Bianca. So, but other than that, I thought, again, the match was great. And up to this point, it was the match of the night. Then I said up to this point, and the Rollins match said, hold my beer. So we had Seth freaking Rollins. I just said that. I'm just going to say Seth Rollins. I don't know why they keep saying Seth freaking Rollins. It's just a nickname, but it's like now it's like his actual name. It's like when they call Daniel Bryan. It's Seth Rollins. So Seth Rollins his whole story was he wanted a match at WrestleMania. He wanted WrestleMania. He couldn't get the match until Vince McMahon said, "Look, if you wanted the match, all you have to do was come to and ask me." So he said, "Rollins, you're going to have a match at Mania. Your opponents. Find out your opponent until you get in the ring." And so up to that point, people were, because there were rumors that Cody Rhodes had signed with WWE. He officially signed. He left AEW. And there was all speculations. Rhodes was trolling. And so Rollins got to the ring. They stalled. They really missed this out. And we see Cody Rhodes, but not dashing Cody Rhodes, not Stardust. We got American Nightmare. We got AEW Cody Rhodes. From the theme music, from the neck tattoo logo, from the entrance alone of Cody rising from the stage like he used to do in AEW. Hairstyle was still the same. Ring attire was the same. Jacket and everything. This was Nightmare Cody Rhodes. This was AEW Independent Wrestling Cody Rhodes. Ring of Honor, New Japan, but mainly AEW Cody Rhodes. It was spot on perfect. I was kind of a lot of people were surprised by this. And Cody Rhodes came out like a star in this one night. He returned to the same building as his last match. His last match in WWE, at least in WrestleMania, his last WrestleMania match was at WrestleMania 32 at Stardust in that multi-man ladder match when Zack Ryder won the Intercontinental Championship. And now years later, Cody makes his in-ring return as the American Nightmare, the evolved version, the main event star Cody Rhodes in the same building at WrestleMania. Just kind of cool. I'm not going to go every little spot. All I'm going to say is at this point, this is the match of the night. This is easily a match of the night for night one of Mania. But as a whole, I can't sit here and tell you because I imagine AJ Styles still has potential to be match of the entire show as a whole. But in terms of night one, Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, the match of the night. Near falls, a lot of counter hard-hitting strikes. And at the end of the day, Cody Rhodes hits multiple crossroads in a row. He even gets a bionic elbow for his late father, Dusty Rhodes. It's one more crossroads, and Cody wins. AEW Cody Rhodes beats one of WWE's top names, Seth Rollins, at the biggest show of the year, the grand stage of them all, clean. That is the right outcome they did. And look, guys like this, and everyone has said this, we need talent. We need main event stars. We don't have a lot of main event guys. Okay, if you really want to include all the guys that we have on roster that could be either legitimate main event contenders or our main eventers, are Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley. And after, when you get to the Kevin Owens day, maybe even Kevin Owens. But that's still a short list of people. And we know eventually some of these people, okay, you can put Edge and AJ Styles in there as well. But you also need to rotate because at the end of the day, it's all about Roman Reigns. His God persona. He's going to eventually start losing opponents to face. So you need someone like Cody Rhodes that can be taken seriously as a main eventer and you could slot into that scene. You need a good supply of main eventers and main cards. And trust me, Ricochet ain't the number 2 babyface of SmackDown. He is a joke. So I winning that Intercontinental Championship has actually been more of a curse than him than actually not having a title. So they need someone like Cody Rhodes. And look, Cody Rhodes left WWE. He said all these things about AEW. Look, technically he was a sellout. But look, Cody's home now. He's back to where he was. He got traded right here. And look, AEW is fun, Cody. When Cody left, I was shocked, I'll admit, but I wasn't angry. The reason why I get angry about people fired or getting released from WWE is they will fire a bunch of people and they would have barely anybody to have. They will have like scraps. But they have so much talent, they can afford to lose a couple names, like a Cody Rhodes. They still got a lot of talent. For God's sakes, they just brought in Samoa Joe. But now WWE gets Cody Rhodes. They get another potential main eventer guy for the roster, which is something they need. Another name. So, although Cody is technically a sellout, I'm not going to hold that against him and hate the guy. I'm not going to go online and burn a shirt and burn it. And Cody Rhodes came out as Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. He got a big win on his turn against one of these top names at the beginning show of the year. And they did right by it. 100%. Next, we get Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey for SmackDown Women's Championship. Some people actually did not like this match. I liked it. It was quick. It barely stopped. I enjoyed this match. I think I liked it a little bit more than a lot of people give it credit. I did like this match. Was it the greatest women's match of all time? Oh, hell no. Bayley and Sasha Banks take over Brooklyn probably will never be topped. That's still the greatest women's match of the period. It was even the best match in terms of the women right now, at least on night one. I mean, like I said, Bianca and Becky, by far the better match. But not to say Charlotte and Ronda Rousey wasn't good. My biggest critique, though, was kind of the ending and kind of how everything out. That I didn't agree with. Again, very good match. A lot of striking, submission, countering. Charlotte did only have a wardrobe malfunction. Brandon actually caught on TV. I didn't see it. And I guess a lot of people experience this too, because on Peacock, Brandon and I were watching live and the feed went going out. There was like during the Ronda Rousey Charlotte match, like there was constantly black screens constantly. And Brandon and I kind of looking at each other like, what's going on? Peacock logo was right there. So it wasn't like the Peacock stream was broken or anything. It was still working. They were still on. We can hear the audio, but we couldn't see anything. If I had to guess, I guess because Charlotte had wardrobe malfunction, there was more stuff revealed. Instead of just blurring that out, they just blacked the entire screen until they were able to get the right angle so they don't show anything. They were able to fix their outfit, whatever it was. Unfortunately, we did have a wardrobe malfunction by Charlotte, but hey, look, stuff like this happens all the time. Stuff like this all happens all the time with the men and women, especially the women. What are you going to do about it? But the ending, I did not really care for. So you have Ronda Rousey hit this was the second time she hit it. Charlotte got her foot on the rope. Referee counted 3, but the referee waved off saying, no, Charlotte's foot was on the rope. It was a break. Then Charlotte got knocked into the refs, basically speared the ref by accident. Referee was knocked down. Ronda gets Charlotte, and I believe Charlotte is tapping out. But there's no referee. And Ronda's trying to get the referee to come back to his feet. And as soon as she turns around, bang, boot to the side of the face, and Charlotte wins. I figured Ronda Rousey was going to win. I figured that was going to happen because Ronda Rousey hasn't been in WWE for a few years. She comes back, makes her return in the Royal Rumble, wins the Rumble. I figured, okay, this is tailor-made for Ronda Rousey to win. Charlotte won. 2 things were going in my mind. Either, more likely, this is just a continuation to Project Backlash. And then Ronda will get the title match. Or Charlotte just has her powers because, we have to put everybody's, we have to put Charlotte over all the time. People bitch about Bianca Belair being overpushed. Clearly they have no idea what it means. We've been dealing with Charlotte for years. But that end I'm a big fan of. I figured I would have just seen Ronda Rousey win. I would have had Ronda Rousey win. But clearly they're going to set this up for potential rematch. I'm going to assume they're going to save it for Backlash. And I can say maybe do a title change there, or maybe do one more semi-screwy finish, and then they have one final match. But I do believe they're going to have a rematch then, because I can have a rematch, and this entire thing was stupid. If Ronda Rousey ain't going to have a rematch for against Charlotte, then having her win the Rumble and then lose Charlotte was completely pointless. Then we get on to one things. And I said things because this was not announced as a match. But this was one of the big marquee stuff that was on it. That was the KO show. That was Kevin Owens doing his KO show with Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's one thing I will give both Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens credit for. These two had storylines where the opponent was never on TV. They had to cut promos and carry those stories to WrestleMania on their own. And then Seth Rollins, and they made it work, especially with Kevin Owens with the payback at the end. So this was not announced as a match. But, so when they did this KO thing, my first thought was, this is dumb. Why are you doing a segment at WrestleMania? This is WrestleMania. I want to see wrestling. I want to see matches. Why are we doing this? So I didn't understand that first. But then there were rumors that the original plans for the match to close out for WrestleMania Saturday before the 24-hour intermission until WrestleMania 38 continued, they were going to close out at least night one with Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, which makes sense because Ronda won the Rumble. She should be the final match before, even though technically this isn't WrestleMania 30. This is WrestleMania 38, and tomorrow's not WrestleMania 39. It's still 38, except it's just 24 hours. I always like that. People say, oh, they may have been night one. They may have ended. No, they didn't. They did not main event WrestleMania 38. They were the final match before the. We all know the main event, regardless, is Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns. I always laugh. These people don't know what a main event things work. It always makes you laugh. So regardless, these two did not main event. They were just the final match before the hour intermission. That's it. But that's besides the point. Originally, Ronda and Charlotte was going to be there until there were rumors that Stone Cold and Kevin Owens' KO segment was going to close out night one. And I figured, and a lot of people were kind of figuring, that's weird. Why would they close out with a segment? And props to guys I saw on Monster who said this, like, there has to be more. If they're going to close this out, why are they closing out with a talk show? It makes zero sense. You think you want to close out with a match. So why are they doing a talk show segment? There has to be more. And I kind of put two together. I figured the same thing. It's like, yeah, that makes a good point. So Owens comes out, and for weeks he's been talking down to Dallas, or mainly Texas. Stone Cold finally appears, comes down his ATV, his little cart thing. I don't know. I think ATV. I think that's what they call it. And he's trying to do the poses in the corner, and Owens cuts him off. And basically, Stone Cold kind of take little jabs at each other. Basically, Owens trying to be a nice guy, but Stone Cold ain't having that shit. So eventually, Owens says, look, I lied. I didn't call you up all those weeks and insult you just to have a talk show with you. I wanted to have a match. And not just any match, I want a no-holds-barred match with you. And Stone Cold kind of thought about it, and at this point, the crowd knew exactly where this was going. I had a smile on my face. And the crowd's going nuts. They're saying, one more match, yes, yes. And Stone Cold just says, get this and bring me a damn ref. Let's go. They throw out the chairs and everything else. And the referee comes in, and a bell rings, and it's official. Stone Cold, after 19 years. Since WrestleMania 19, he has finally returned to have one final match. if this is Stone Cold's final match, this is going to be memorable for Kevin Owens for a lot of reasons. And he's the improv, no holds barred match. And I figured Stone Cold was going to win, but I figured it was going to be maybe like a 4 or 5 minute match. Stun 1, 2, 3. But no, these two went out there and had nearly a 15-minute match. They brawled all over the arena, the crowd. Stone Cold got some mud. Obviously, Stone Cold's a little slower. The first few minutes, I mean, you could tell Stone Cold was looking his age. I mean, he was slow on stopping. But look, the guy's in his 50s. He hasn't wrestled in 19 years. He hasn't wrestled in a long time. So, gotta give the guy some slack. But eventually, Stone Cold started getting the momentum going. He started getting the rhythm. Again, they brawl on the stage, they brawl in the crowd, they brawl in the ring outside. And this was not a squash match. Owens got some shots on him. In fact, Owens did a suplex in the crowd onto some cement. So Stone Cold took a good bump on the concrete. That was pretty cool. So Owens was just, these two were being the piss out of each other. And I'm just here going, like, this is just fun. This is fun. This is something I'm expecting something like John Knoxville, Sami Zayn tonight to do. I'm not expecting an in-ring Okada classic. I'm just sitting here going, I just want to be entertained. That's what I'm saying. Sami Zayn and John Knoxville, although as a match, it's probably going to suck, but because of anything goes, it could be the most entertaining thing on the card. This match was fun. Owens hit a stunner. Austin kicked down. Owens went for a chair. He swapped the chair, tried to hit Stone Cold with the chair. He hit the top rope, and the chair bounced Owens. Stunner, 1, 2, 3. Steve Austin wins his match and potentially his official retirement match against Kevin Owens. After match, Kevin gets stunned again. Stone Cold's drinking beer, drinking with the fans, drinking with the referee. He calls him Byron, takes a stunner to Byron Saxon, and Byron sells that really well. This is just a Cliff Notes version. This was just the legal definition of fun. I just had fun watching this. I had a smile on my face. It was fun. That's the base of this match. This was just plain fun. I was not bored. The crowd was into it. It wasn't a squash. It wasn't a 4 or 5 minute blunt. This was a literal match. And let's be honest, if you're going to close out night 1 of WrestleMania, where are you going to close out with? Charlotte, Ronda Rousey, or Kevin Owens and the returning Stone Cold Steve Austin? This was the right move. There was a reason why they did this match last. It was because they knew Stone Cold was coming out of retirement to have a match, an improv match. Kevin Owens, out of everybody, Kevin Owens has got to be the happiest man on the planet. Stone Cold looked up to guys, and Owens looked up to Stone Cold. So, for him, this was a wet dream for him. Owens could not believe that I don't think he ever would have thought he would be having a match against Stone Cold. He probably never thought a million chance to wrestle Stone Cold, have an 8-sort match with him, and he got to have not only a match with one of his favorites, one of his idols, but to do it at the biggest stage of them all. It's huge. This was a huge moment for Kevin, and Kevin Owens has got to be the happiest man on the face of this planet. This is going to go down as Kevin Owens' biggest match of his entire life. When everything's done and settled with his career, it's not going to get bigger than this. This was the pinnacle of Kevin Owens' career, and he sold his ass out for Stone Cold, and they just went out there and just had one of the most fun matches in WrestleMania history. I just loved this. Just fun. So either that is it for night 1. Overall, again, not including the Mysterio match. And look, even if I did include the Mysterio match, I heard saying it was actually a pretty decent match. But again, I didn't watch it, so I can't judge it. The first 2 matches were not, unfortunately, like I said, one had injury. Stuff like that happens. But then I would say during the Bianca Belair and Charlotte match, From there, it just went up. I'm going to give this show an 8 out of 10. This night one, at least, right? I just thought this first night was fun. Now we have night 2. I will be reviewing night 2 probably tomorrow. I'll give you my thoughts on night 2. Grade that. And then I'm going to grade WrestleMania as a whole. I give you my thoughts about WrestleMania. So hopefully WrestleMania night 2 is just as good, if not better. Besides the New Day match now being kicked off night 1, put on night 2. Personally, I just put that as the kickoff. No one gives a shit. Lashley Omos, I don't think it's going to be a good match at all. Maybe it'll surprise me. That's not a Lashley. That's just more of an Omos thing. Because Omos is not a good wrestler. He's not that good. But Lashley, maybe they can surprise me. Maybe the match will be a fun little match. But I'm not going to hold my breath. But we're going to see what happens later on tonight for night 2. So with that being said, that is it for this review. I'll see you guys. Take care of my peeps. Have a good day. I'll see you guys next time.